Chapter 9. Should Christians vote? I believe that even though Jesus was largely non-political, see the previous chapter, his followers should still be involved in the political process. One reason Jesus may not have been politically active is that he wasn't a Roman citizen. Because of this, his options were limited. Paul, on the other hand, was involved and actually petitioned the government on several occasions. As a Roman citizen, we can presume he voted. Dallas pastor Tony Evans says God and his people have very much been involved in governance and politics. He says, and even having his people represented in the political realm, whether it's Joseph with Pharaoh, Daniel in Babylon, or in Acts 16, Paul doing a sit-in for his legal rights as a Roman citizen. Another point of surrender among Christians is that since God ordains governments, Romans 13, why should we get involved? God's got it all handled, right? He doesn't need us. Well, it turns out that nowadays the tool God still uses most to accomplish his purposes is his people. Yep, you and I are literally the hands and feet of God right here on earth. I believe that when we refrain from participating in the political process, we're missing out on an opportunity to influence our culture for the better. People died to give you the right to vote. If people hadn't fought and bled for our freedom in the Revolutionary War and in the War of 1812, we would have ended up as British subjects, unable to vote and maybe even lacking representation in Parliament. If we hadn't entered World War II, we might have ended up under Nazi tyranny. Whether or not you believe that today's military directly fights for the freedom of Americans, throughout history plenty of troops did. In a time of increased political polarization, many Americans consider most presidential candidates of the two major parties to be, well, terrible candidates. But throughout human history, God has allowed unsavory characters to come to power, and then he used them for his purposes. The fact that he used Pharaoh, Nebuchadnezzar, and Caesar to accomplish his plan is proof. God is still ultimately in control no matter who the president is.